Okay, so have you ever wondered why you prefer solitude over social gatherings? Or why you feel drained after a long day of interacting with people? Me too. For the longest time, I just thought I was introverted. But get this. It turns out there are actually of introverts. Yeah, mind blown, right? Today, we're diving into the fascinating world of introverts and uncovering the 4 main types. Get ready to finally understand yourself and your quiet tendencies on a whole new level. First up, we've got the social introverts. This is probably the type of introvert that comes to mind for most people. They're not necessarily shy or afraid of social situations, they just have their limits. Big parties and crowded events? Yeah, that's gonna be a hard pass. But intimate gatherings with close friends? Count them in. Social introverts value meaningful connections and deep conversations over surface-level small talk. They'd rather hang out with a small group of their besties than try to navigate a room full of strangers. And honestly, same. They're not trying to be rude or standoffish. They just genuinely thrive in smaller, more controlled social settings. It's all about quality over quantity for these guys. Think of it this way. Imagine your social battery is like a phone. Extroverts, with their constant need for stimulation, are like those people who leave their phones plugged in all day, always at 100%. Social introverts, on the other hand, are more mindful of their battery life. They know that social interaction, while enjoyable, can drain their energy. So they're careful about how they use it, making sure to recharge with plenty of alone time. And you know what? There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. In fact, I think we could all learn a thing or two from social introverts about setting boundaries and prioritizing our own well-being. It's all about finding what works for you and owning it. If you found this helpful, give us a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. It helps us reach more awesome people like you. Next, we have the thinking introverts. These are the deep thinkers, the daydreamers, the ones who are always lost in their own little worlds. They're introspective AF, constantly analyzing, reflecting, and coming up with new ideas. Thinking introverts are fascinated by ideas and concepts. They could spend hours just reading, researching, or brainstorming in their heads. And small talk? Yeah, that's basically their worst nightmare. They'd much rather have a deep conversation about philosophy, art, or the meaning of life. They're not always the most outwardly expressive people, but their inner worlds are incredibly rich and complex. They're constantly observing, processing, and making connections that others might miss. Basically, they're low-key geniuses. Think of them like that friend who always has the most insightful things to say, but only when you get them one-on-one. They might not be the life of the party, but they're the ones you go to for advice or when you need someone to really listen and understand. Okay, now let's talk about anxious introverts. These guys often get a bad rap because their introversion can sometimes be mistaken for shyness or even rudeness. But the truth is, their desire to avoid social situations usually stems from a place of anxiety. Anxious introverts tend to overthink social interactions. They might worry about saying the wrong thing, being judged, or just generally feeling awkward or uncomfortable. So to avoid these negative feelings, they often choose to avoid social situations altogether. It's important to remember that anxiety is a real thing, and it can be incredibly debilitating. So if you know an anxious introvert, try to be understanding and patient with them. They're not trying to be difficult, they're just trying to manage their anxiety in the best way they know how. And to all the anxious introverts out there, just know that you're not alone. There are tons of resources available to help you manage your anxiety, and it's totally possible to live a happy and fulfilling life, even if social situations make you nervous. Last but not least, we've got the restrained introverts. These are the chill, go-with-the-flow types who are perfectly content to just hang back and observe. They're not necessarily shy or anxious. They just prefer to take their time warming up to new people and situations. Restrained introverts are often described as thoughtful, deliberate, and even-keeled. They're not ones to rush into anything, preferring to carefully consider all their options before making a decision. They're also not big on small talk, but once they feel comfortable with someone, they can be surprisingly open and engaging. Think of them like a slow-burning fire. It might take a while to get them going, but once they're warmed up, they radiate a quiet confidence and warmth that's totally magnetic. So, there you have it, the 4 main types of introverts. Which one resonated with you the most? Are you a social butterfly in small groups? A deep thinker lost in thought? An anxious overthinker? Or a chill observer? Let me know in the comments below. No matter what type of introvert you are, just remember that there's absolutely nothing wrong with being an introvert. In fact, introverts bring so many amazing qualities to the table. They're thoughtful, insightful, creative, and empathetic, just to name a few. So embrace your inner introvert and all the unique quirks that come with it. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more insightful content. Thanks for watching.